Namaste.
Namaste.
We welcome you to yet another interesting episode where we will find out about the most impactful developments shaping in India today. I'm your host, Deepika Upadhyay, and today we are going to reach out into a region that's been on the periphery for too long, but not anymore. Well, transforming the Northeast, the real story behind the numbers, where we decode India's biggest developments, trends, and transformations. We're talking about India's Northeast and the game changing investments pouring in from corporate giants like Tata, Adani, and Reliance, alongside massive central government initiative. So the question is, what's cooking in the Northeast? From tunnels in Tawang to highways to Bangkok, from the world's oldest oil refinery to India's first semiconductor unit in Assam, this episode is packed with insight. What does it mean for India strategically and economically? And most importantly, what's in it for the entrepreneurs, investors, and citizens across the country? Joining me today is Dr. Naresh Bana, an accomplished global public private partnership advisor who will bring in today some transparent and thought provoking insights from the Northeast currents of change. Dr. Bana, let's warm up before we dive into complexities. When you first heard about this level of investment going into the Northeast, what was your gut reaction? Do you feel the region has finally stepped onto India's main development stage? Or is it just another headline without a backbone?
Before I answer your question, let me share with you that I have been fortunate to have been to all the 8 states which comprise our Northeast region during my professional journey. And that's no small feat today. I was always impressed by the development potential which exists in the region. And this investment, what we see today, is timely, if not late. For the population of 6 crores, almost 6 crores of this entire region, the development potential is far higher if we calculate per capita and compare it with the national average. That appears to be the reason why our Prime Minister last week called the region as Ashtalakshmi, the goddess of prosperity.
Great viewers, watch fully to understand how big and beneficial this development is going to be for India in general and northeastern states in particular. Dr. Bana, tell us more about the transformation happening. Can you explain why the northeastern region of India is gaining such a massive attention from both the government and private sector giants like Tata, Adani, and Reliance?
Deepika ji, this transformation has created such magnetic pull that big names, as you rightly said, Tata, Adani, and Ambani's are queuing up to set up their projects in Northeast. Who's doing what and what is in it for you? We are going to tell you all that. Just to recap, the Northeastern region comprises of 8 states, which are serene Sikkim, which is known for its tranquil monasteries, majestic Kanchenjunga, and clean environment. Then we have abundant Assam, which is rich in tea, oil, biodiversity, and the mighty Brahmaputra River. We have mystic Manipur, celebrated for classical dance, floating Loktak Lake, and deep-rooted traditions. Mesmerizing Meghalaya, which is called Switzerland of the East, and famous for its living root bridges, lush landscapes, and heavy rainfall. Ancient Arunachal is all the mighty peaks and home to tribal heritage, ancient monasteries, and pristine valleys. We have noble Nagaland, known for its vibrant tribal festivals, especially the Hornbill Festival. Then we have magical Mizoram, defined by rolling hills, bamboo culture, and unique tribal traditions. And not to be left behind is scenic Tripura, characterized by lush greenery, royal palaces, and historic temples. And the development we are talking about are the policies and projects of Government of India and unique interest shown by the Indian private sector in developing this region. While 55 ministries of the central government together have a budget of almost 1 lakh crores in this region, the private sector has announced another 4.3 lakh crore to be invested in northeastern states. Together, this amount is almost US dollars 50 billion, which is almost one fourth of the regional GDP, that is the state GDP of all the states, all the 8 states put together, which is phenomenal. And this unparalleled investment and commitment to invest is set to reshape the economic and infrastructure contours of this region.
Before we go into the details of the investment, let me give you a snapshot on strategic importance of Northeast India, the notable projects in the region, the financing models driving these investments, the implications for the regional and national economy, the challenges ahead, and the opportunities for entrepreneurs across India. Now let's zoom in some of the ground level action, sir. Critics say that corporate interest in the Northeast is more about profit extraction than regional upliftment. What's your take on that? Honestly, and why now? The Northeast has always had oil, gas, and biodiversity. What has suddenly made it so attractive to India's corporate giants? With so much cultural richness in Northeast, how do we ensure that economic development doesn't erase traditional identity in the name of progress?
You're right. The Northeast India, comprising of 8 states, that's Arunachal, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Tripura, have been often referred to as gateway to the east. Geographically, it shares borders with several Southeast Asian countries, making it a crucial link for India's Act East policy. As you mentioned, the region is rich in natural resources, including oil, gas, coal, minerals, and tea, just to name the prominent ones. Then there is hydropower potential, solar power potential, biomass potential, and a youthful, educated human resource base. And yet, it has remained underdeveloped due to historical neglect, infrastructural bottlenecks, and connectivity challenges, which are being bridged now. Just to recap, I'm sure you know that Assam is accredited with giving you and me our cup of tea. Yes, tea arrived in India through Assam in early 19th century, that is in 1823. Robert Bruce first discovered indigenous tea plants growing wild, and by the 1830s, British East India Company began cultivating tea commercially. This marked start of Assam's transformation into a major tea producing region. Further, you will be delighted to note that Digboi in Assam holds the distinction of hosting India's first commercially viable oil well, drilled in 1889, and is home to the first refinery, oil refinery of India, that was inaugurated in 1901. Yes, just about 124 years before. Considering the immense development potential and advent of peace in the region, the government decided to move forward with communication and energy projects to start with. That, coupled with industry friendly policy structure, law and order betterment, and of course, abundance of water, land, and educated human resources, seem to have attracted the private sector. And that's where the investment commitment as on date is rupees 4.3 lakh crores.
You mentioned, sir, over 5.3 lakh crore income in combined public and private investments, what are some of the most transformative infrastructure projects currently underway, particularly in rail, road, and energy sectors?
Yes, there are some real big projects taking shape there. And to start with the railways, we have major railway projects. Jiribam Imphal line. It's a 110-kilometer broad gauge line connecting Jiribam to Imphal and which enhances connectivity to Manipur. Then we have Barabi Sairang line that's connecting the Mizoram and it's 51-kilometer long. And then we have Dhansiri Zubza line that connects the Nagaland. It's an 82-kilometer project linking Dhansiri to Zubza near Kohima. And then we have Tetelia Birnihat Shillong line, which is a phased project extending rail connectivity to Meghalaya's capital Shillong. And to connect Tripura, we have Agartala Akhaura International Rail Link, aiming to connect Agartala with Akhaura in Bangladesh, fostering international trade and travel. Now, let me come to highways. As you may have thought, highways are only being built in your neighborhood. See, some of the major highway projects under construction in this region are Trans Arunachal Highway, NH13, a 2,407-kilometer highway traversing Arunachal Pradesh, connecting Tawang to Kanubari, enhancing intrastate connectivity. Then we have Arunachal Frontier Highway, a 1,748-kilometer highway along India-Tibet border, aimed at strategic and economic development with completion targeted in 2027. Then we have Shillong Silchar High Speed Corridor, a 166-kilometer long 4-lane highway improving connectivity between Meghalaya and Assam. We have Dhubri Fulbari Bridge. It's a 19-kilometer bridge over Brahmaputra River, said to be India's second longest overwater bridge and expected to be completed by 2028. And Sela Tunnel is already inaugurated. It's a 12-kilometer long tunnel providing all-weather connectivity to Tawang. So Tawang is accessible round the year. You can always take a vacation there.
These projects sounds nothing short of transformative, and hearing about highways, Tawang really brings the scale to life. But truly appreciate this shift. Let's shift to strategy for a moment, sir. What about the transnational connectivity projects being undertaken in this region as part of India's Look East policy? Do you think these mega investments are purely economic, especially considering China's shadow and our Act East policy?
Deepika ji, historically, the transnational connectivity has served the trade and commerce. So is the case here, and of course, it is part of India's Act East policy. China factor is also there. First connectivity project in the region is the India-Myanmar-Thailand highway. It starts from Moreh in Manipur and ends at Mysore in Thailand. Yes, you will be able to drive down to bustling Bangkok soon traveling on this road. How's that? It is a crucial infrastructure project that aims to connect India's northeast to other Southeast Asian countries through a road network via Myanmar. This highway holds immense strategic and economic importance for all stakeholders. It's expected to be a game changer as it will significantly reduce transportation costs and time, making the region more accessible and viable for trade and tourism. It is also being planned to be extended right up to Vietnam. The second project of importance is the connection of state of Mizoram with port of Sitwe in Myanmar. It's a significant component of the Kaladan Multimodal Transit Transport Project, KMTTP. This initiative, undertaken by Government of India, aims to develop an alternative route for ocean connectivity to the northeastern states. bypassing the narrow and vulnerable Siliguri corridor, also known as chicken snack. It holds immense economic and strategic value for India as it enhances regional connectivity, boosts trade, and strengthens diplomatic ties with Myanmar. It will be connecting the port of Kolkata with the Sitwe port in Rakhine State, Myanmar via sea. From Sitwe, the cargo will be transported inland through the Kaladan River to Palitwa in Myanmar's Chin state. From Palitwa, a 110-kilometer long road is linking it to Jorinpui on the India-Myanmar border in Mizoram state and further to main Indian network of highways. These projects are poised to significantly enhance connectivity, economic growth, and strategic infrastructure in the entire Northeast region. In addition to transportation projects mentioned above, there is huge hydropower potential as these northeastern states hold 42% of 1.3 lakh megawatt power generation potential of entire India. 42% is concentrated in these 8 states, of which only about 6.5% has been exploited till date, while the national average of hydropower is 29% of the capacity. Then we have pump up storage projects, which are also being planned to optimally utilize the solar and other renewable energy being produced. The solar power possibility of approximately 62,300 megawatt, which is significant in the states like Assam, Manipur, and Mizoram. This figure represents about 8.3% of India's total solar potential, which is approximately 7.5 lakh megawatts.
Fascinating, sir. It's striking how the Northeast isn't just geographically critical, but it's historically rich and resource abundant. Let's bring some human element in. Sir, can you walk our viewers about the financing models? How are innovative approaches like PPPs and PLI schemes helping drive these large scale development? And what kind of roles are private players taking on?
See, as I mentioned, about 1 lakh crore is coming through various uh, project fundings and other schemes of Government of India through 55 ministries. So those are generally EPC projects. The scale of investment which is now being projected requires innovative financing models. For most of the transportation and energy projects, primary model being employed is the public-private partnership, which leverages both public resources and private sector efficiency. Under this model, the government provides land, financial support to make projects bankable, regulatory support, and capital subsidies if required, while private players bring in technology, management expertise, and funding and bear most of the risks. Then we have the production linked incentive format, wherein the entrepreneurs are encouraged to set industry and grants are provided based on type and volume of the output. Tata Electronics, in collaboration with Taiwan's company PSMC, has set up India's first semiconductor fabrication unit in Jagi Road, Assam. And the first chip manufactured in Assam is expected soon. Adani Group's 100,000 crore investment inter alia includes 3,400 megawatts of thermal power project in Assam, green energy projects to include hydropower and pumped up storage projects, power transmission projects, digital technology to include technological solutions, logistic parks, and human resource development. Similarly, Reliance Industries, Mukesh Ambani Group, has decided to establish 350 compressed biogas plants to promote clean energy and rural development, enhancement of Geo 5G network to achieve near universal coverage, expansion of Reliance Retail's footprints, and establishment of factories for high quality, fast moving consumer goods. Construction of 150-bed cancer hospital in Manipur is also on the cards to improve regional healthcare infrastructure. Creation of Olympic training centers across the Northeast to nurture local sporting talent, and implementation of artificial intelligence solutions in schools, hospitals, and homes to enhance awareness. That's to mention just a few of them.
Thank you, sir. That breakdown of financing really helps demystify how public ambitions meet private execution. It's encouraging to see innovative models finally finding a place in Indian infrastructure. With clarity on projects being done, sir, how those are being financed, what do you think are the implications of such massive development on regional and national economy?
See, as I said before, the influx of additional private funding to the tune of 4.3 lakh crore into the Northeast is poised to have far reaching economic implications. Regionally, it will lead to creation of thousands of jobs, both directly and indirectly. The development of infrastructure will enhance connectivity, reduce logistic costs, and open up new markets for local businesses. This additional push in next 3 years may result in doubling or almost doubling of Northeast regional GDP from current USD 200 billion to almost USD 400 billion. That is 35 lakh crores, which in 2028 or 2029 will be almost 8% of national GDP, and that is huge. These developments will contribute to balanced national growth, strategic connectivity, and thus reducing the disparity between the Northeast and other regions of India. The development of sectors like transnational transportation, regional connectivity, renewable energy, tourism, manufacturing, and logistics will also bolster India's position in the global supply chain, attracting further foreign investment.
That's a powerful perspective on the region's emerging importance. It's clear that it isn't just another development story, it's a strategic and economical recalibration for the entire country. While the potential for economic uplifts this year, what are some of the major challenges that could threaten the success of these ambitious projects?
As I said, despite the optimistic outlook, there are several challenges which could impede the successful realization of these projects and the investment as a whole. While there have been significant improvement in the policy framework, there are gaps, there are innovations required, there are more to be done, and then we have to create awareness and implementation framework so that the policies can also be executed correctly. Land acquisition, as in rest of the country, remains a major challenge, and the regulatory hurdles associated with it. Then we have capacity deficiency at state level, that is the state as such, then your district and sub-district level also, to not only plan and bid out the projects, but also to monitor and support the projects. Then there are local resistance. The communities are quite politically active and aware, and they may resist projects due to concerns over environmental impact, loss of livelihood, which are generally created by vested interests, or inadequate consultations during the planning phase. There are infrastructure bottlenecks because existing infrastructure at times is found wanting in supporting the further development of additional project or the same project, leading to potential delays. Then there are geopolitical tensions and the region's proximity to volatile Bangladesh, China, and Myanmar, which has internal problems, makes it susceptible to geopolitical tensions, which could affect project timelines and investor confidence.
Absolutely, sir. These are real, complex challenges. Addressing them will be key to sustaining momentum and the trust in the region. Let's talk future and entrepreneurship. Finally, What new doors are opening for entrepreneurs across India in this evolving landscape? And how can they best position themselves to seize these opportunities in the Northeast?
Yes, very pertinent question. See, while the large businesses will always find their way or get invited or get facilitated, for the medium and small entrepreneurs, here's my prescription, which is starting with the supply chain and logistics. Because as the infrastructure improves, there will be a demand for local suppliers, transporters, and logistics providers. Then tourism, which we have been talking about, the area is totally unexplored, and the development of infrastructure will make the region more accessible, boosting tourism and hospitality industries. Better roads, rail, and air connectivity will bring the region closer to population centers of rest of India. The farthest airport today is just 2.5 hours away, and domestic travelers will be able to enjoy the beauty of rolling tea gardens, dense forests, some of the best golf courses, wildlife, high mountain peaks, and ancient temples. You would be delighted to note that Namdafa in Arunachal Pradesh is a biodiversity hotspot located in Changlang district. And this is part of Eastern Himalayas, one of the world's richest biodiversity zones, covering over 1,985 square kilometer. This national park is the largest protected area in the Eastern Himalayas. Then there is a scope for skill development and training. The influx of industries is going to require a large amount of skilled force, creating opportunities in education, hospitality, retail, and other sectors. Retail and consumer goods sector certainly follows all such developments, and as new markets open up, there will be a growing demand for retail outlets and consumer goods. So, your next real estate procurement or purchase, look at Northeast. There are ample of opportunities, and you can compare it with Middle East. You may find the return on investment may be even better here. So the entrepreneurs can tap into these opportunities by understanding local needs, collaborating with stakeholders, and leveraging government schemes aimed at promoting entrepreneurship in the region.
Thank you, sir. That was truly inspiring. Thank you for shedding light on this evolving chapter of India's growth journey. And that brings us to the end of this fascinating conversation. The Northeast is no longer just a corner of the map, it's fast becoming a core part of India's economic future. With strategic positioning, untapped resources, and now a full scale public private push, the region holds incredible promise not just for connectivity and commerce, but also for creativity, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. A big thank you to Dr. Bana for shedding light on the scale, scope, and spirit behind this transformation. Until next time, this is Deepika Upadhyay signing off. Stay curious, stay informed. Namaste.
Namaste.